burped my mouth just in time for the podcast.
So funny. What are you drinking? A hot black?
Yeah, gotta drink black
Love
coffee.
that. I picked up a Dunkin' today. Fucking got me going.
Yeah.
Usually I don't drink Dunkin', but
Leaky cups.
they
Fixed their leaky cups.
They did. I don't know what they did.
Not leaky no more.
They are not leaky anymore. I think enough complaints from Gaetano. They said, if we're dropping the hammer, we're figuring this out. Yeah. Fucking, I started threatening them on social media with literally a burn on my hand every time I walked out of there. Today, I have on a friend, a colleague, Cody Purciello, one of our loan officers, one of our top guys here, a great guy, family man, former Marine.
Yeah, that's on the list. Yep.
Yep. Was super excited to catch up with you today.
I'm very pumped, man.
Let's go. So Cody and I were talking maybe 3-4 weeks ago about putting this together, having him come on, share a little bit about your background, your story, because I'm sure your friends, family, they all know you, but people that you work with and people maybe that aren't immediate family and friends, maybe acquaintances, people you've past clients, pre-approved buyers, friends of friends, might want to know you personally a bit more.
Yeah.
So we said, we'll come on today. We're going to connect, share some stories about you personally in rock and roll.
I love it. Let's do it.
Awesome, man. So I thought this was an interesting story. Your parents meet young, 18 and 16 years old.
Yep.
How do they meet?
They actually met on a cruise ship. So
Yep.
my father was an actor, dancer on a cruise ship at 18. He was just traveling the world.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy to be doing that at 18.
So different than today.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't think any parents would let their 18-year-old do that nowadays. But so they, my mom was actually a passenger with her parents.
Yep.
They met, they hit it off, just friendly at the time, but they exchanged addresses and wrote letters to each other. That's how it was done back in the day. No FaceTiming. Or
This is
anything
what, like
that.
the 70s probably, like 80s, early 80s, late 70s?
I think 80s.
Yeah. Okay.
So they kept in contact for like 5-6 years. Finally,
Your dad's from where?
Connecticut. My mom's from California, which I guess is...
Dad grew up in Trumbull.
Yeah,
right?
Trumbull, Connecticut. My mom's from Salinas.
Where's that?
It's a little north. It's like 3 hours north of LA.
Okay.
Yeah, by driving. And it's just like very like rural town. Like
Really?
It's kind of a big surfing community.
Yeah.
So it's
on the water, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. Every time I go out there, my cousins try to bring me surfing, but I just cannot get the hang of it.
So funny.
Basically drowning every time I go. But yeah, they connected. My father flew out to meet my mom's family. And because they, when they're on the cruise, it wasn't really interacting with them that much.
Yeah.
But they got out there. They really hit it off. And then like a couple months after that, my mom actually flew and moved out to Connecticut. Moved in with my dad, and the rest is history. That's how I got here.
That is nuts, man. That is awesome. Oh my God. So where'd you grow up? And by the way, I always like to start with a family background because it just paints a picture, and that's a cool story.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You were born in Trumbull, and then you grew up in?
I grew up in Shelton my whole life.
Yep. Awesome. Where'd you go to school?
Shelton High. I went so Booth Hill School, Shelton Intermediate School, Shelton High. After that, I applied to just make my family happy. I applied to Sacred Heart, got in, but I knew since I was a little kid, I wanted to join the Marine Corps.
No way.
Yeah.
All right. So you have a sister.
I do have a sister.
Courtney. How old is she? How much younger, right?
She's like 3.5 years younger than me.
Fantastic. Okay. She went to Shelton schools as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. You play any sports growing up?
Yeah, I played a lot of sports.
Well, tell me the story, though. You played a lot of sports, but you weren't good at any
I
of
was
them.
horrible at all of them except one. So I started out in like baseball, basketball, football. Worst batting average in the entire league for baseball for multiple years running. Come to find out, I needed glasses, and I had no idea that I needed glasses. So this whole time, I'm like, how are these people seeing the ball? I'm just closing my eyes swinging. Eventually got glasses, but when I got glasses is when about the time I stopped playing, because one of my best friends growing up, Brendan Gill, I used to hang out at his house all the time, and they always used to be playing soccer. His dad was actually a soccer coach, so they really pushed me into getting started. They said I seemed like I have some talent, which I've never heard in my life about any sport, so I was all in for it. So I went and quit every other sport, started playing soccer, and I just fell in love with it, and I stuck with that ever since.
Played in high school at Shelton?
Yep. Played
Oh, heck
all
yeah.
4 years, yep.
You guys played prep, I think.
Yeah, I did.
Right?
Didn't like it. You guys always talked a lot of shit
Yeah,
when we were on the field.
I love that. Let's go. Oh, dude, what year did you graduate Shelton High?
2012.
Okay, so I was a freshman. I don't know. I knew a couple guys older than me, but not that year. That's so funny. So you enlist on your 18th birthday.
Yep.
You leave for boot camp.
A couple months later, I left for boot camp. So you could sign a little bit earlier if your family does it. My parents were like, we don't want to be responsible for you joining early. I don't blame them. I probably wouldn't have done that either. But 18th birthday, I went to recruiter's office, signed the papers.
On the 18th birthday?
On my 18th birthday, yep.
Wow. Was it a weekend or a weekday?
It was, I don't remember.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Were you in high school at the time?
I was still in high school, yeah. So I was like, my birthday's in March, so I still had a couple months left in my high school. So I enlisted in the infantry. I luckily, there's a lot of, anyone that's a veteran watching this will know, like, most recruiters will want you signing up for the longest period of time, they get a little extra bonus, stuff like that. I got very lucky, my recruiter. I was like, sign me up for 6 years. I'm doing this the rest of my life. And he goes, I'm going to put you down for 4. If you want to keep going, you can keep going, but just start with 4. Very blessed he did that. Best decision of my life joining, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Left a couple months later.
Yeah.
My parents had a big going away party at the end of the summer for me, and then I was supposed to leave for boot camp 2 weeks later. A week before my going away party, I got a call from the recruiter saying, you're leaving 2 weeks early. So I was actually leaving for boot camp the day of my going away party. So it was really a going away party. Like I left in the middle of it. There were tears. People were, I don't even know how the party went after I left. I would assume like not well.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's so funny.
But I immediately jumped on a plane and then.
That's crazy, by the way. So they could just call you up and move you up?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. After you kind of sign your life away.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Where'd you go?
I went to Paris Island.
For boot camp?
For boot camp, yep.
Where is
That's
that?
in South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina,
Yep,
okay.
Yep. That was quite an experience. They really break you down there.
How long is boot camp?
It's 3 months. It's a Marine Corps boot camp's the longest boot camp.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what the Army or Navy is?
I think they're like half a month short. Navy is like a month shorter. Army is like 2 weeks shorter.
Okay.
Yeah, but those in those boot camps, you kind of get phone privileges every once in a while, call home, stuff like that. The only communication we get is writing letters.
Really?
Yeah. And the mail system kind of sucks there. So first 3 weeks, I didn't get a single letter from my family, my friends, other people getting letters at this time. I'm like, wow, I guess no one really likes me at home. Everyone forgot about me. Then I got like 30 letters at once in one day, like half of them were from my mom and dad. So it was
way.
Nice. Yeah. And then
that's crazy.
Yeah,
dude. What did that feel like?
Just boot camp. It was
the letters.
Oh, the letters.
Oh my God.
It was crazy because like you're getting like these updates all at once of like you're like life's still moving forward without you, and it's kind of it's surreal. And it's a weird thing not having any sort of technology. I remember I was asking my parents to send me lyrics of new music while I was there, just because like I miss listening to music so much.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But I when I was in boot camp, I actually kept getting really, really sick a lot. So it was quite a miserable experience. But
from what you think?
Oh my God, just there's so many people from around the country going to one place, and like I'm sure everyone knows the way diseases work. Like you get a little like immunity to the local disease in your area. So like when you're bringing everyone in from different places, you're getting exposed to things you're not normally exposed to. So it's very common to get sick.
A lot of people get sick.
Oh yeah. But I almost got dropped back a couple times.
What's that mean, drop back?
So you're on a schedule going through like your class, and then you have a graduation date. So if you get dropped back, it means you're missing too much of boot camp, that they feel like you need to get dropped back to the class that started a week after you or 2 weeks after you, and then you have their graduation date. And I didn't want to be there any longer than I needed to be. So I stuck it out. Luckily, I got through everything. Did really good there. Kind of kept my head down.
Yeah.
Read a lot of books and was like, just don't make yourself known, and you'll get through a little bit easier. Shot like top 3 in the rifle qual, like top 10 on physical fitness qualifications. So did really good there. But luckily got through without a hitch, and then got to actually spend Christmas at home the way it lined
Oh,
up.
awesome.
Which was a big reason I didn't want to get dropped back, too, because I would have had to been there an extra month because I couldn't have come home for Christmas.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you were infantry?
Yeah, I was 0311 rifleman.
Oh, no way.
Mm-hmm.
0311 rifleman. Cool. And then you went to, after Christmas, School of Infantry?
Yeah, yep.
What was that like?
That was a lot cooler.
No way, really?
Yeah, it's still a little more harsh than like being in the fleet after that,
Yep.
but they treat you like more of a human, and which is good because like boot camp it's intentional. It's supposed to be that because a lot of people go into boot camp, myself included, like you're
not
you're
polished.
going for a reason, right?
Yeah.
You probably realize that you need to improve upon yourself in some way, and they break you down and rebuild you stronger. So when you're in School of Infantry, now they're just honing you towards your job. So my job as a rifleman, it was a lot of going out doing field ops. So think of it as like camping with guns, right? So you're going out there, you're doing hikes, you're doing live fire drills, and just really learning your weapon system, learning the tactics that go into being an infantry rifleman.
No way. Okay. How long is that?
That's
SOI?
2 months.
Okay. And then you go to Camp Lejeune.
Yeah. So, Camp Lejeune is where I went that's where I was stationed. So I was 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines, Lima Company. So
Say that again?
3rd Battalion, 8th Marines.
Yep.
And I was in Lima Company.
Wait. 3rd Battalion,
Yep.
8th Marines.
Yep.
Break that down and what that means. So how many battalions are there?
Oh gosh.
Oh, a ton? A lot.
No, someone would know. I don't know
Oh.
off the top of my head. It actually things change all the time. Like my 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines is actually disbanded now. So as you're winding down from war, you get rid of some of the battalions, and then you add back more when you are getting into war. But
Gotcha.
it just there's 8th Marines consists of multiple battalions, and in a battalion there's 4 companies. So for infantry, you have 3 infantry companies, and you have 1 company that's consisting of like admin. So like anyone that's working like the supply,
Medical?
medical. You'll have
Like a support role.
yeah, a support role. Anyone that's working on the vehicles. So and then within the companies, you have platoons, and there's 3 platoons of just normal infantry, and then you have usually a platoon of weapons platoon. So that would be like machine gunners or anyone that's what's the MOS? Can't remember the MOS, but they work with explosives. Yeah, so that's the breakdown, and then within each platoon you have 3 squads.
Wow. How many people are in a squad?
Changes. It was 13 for a long time, moved down to 10. At one point for me, it was up to like 23.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, so really quick. Squad has 10 people, 3 in a platoon, 30 people in a platoon. That means times 4, 120 people in a company, times 4 again. So about 160 people to 200 in a battalion.
Yeah, there's actually a little more in a company because you have like the officers and
okay.
the higher ups, and then you also have another platoon for like admin within the company. But I think it's around like 300 per company.
Gotcha.
So there's like a little over 1,000 in each battalion.
Oh my God. Jeez, awesome. Okay, so you're stationed there 4 years.
Yeah.
Deployed
Yeah.
at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was deployed. So I guess I should go with like kind of just my career.
Yeah.
So when I was in, I was the first. We call it a boot drop. So when a company gets deployed, obviously they're not getting any new Marines when they're deployed. So when they come back, they get new Marines. They're called boots. So that's like I went after School of Infantry. I was a new boot. Think of it as like a pledgee for a frat. kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Treated
So funny.
probably worse. Yeah. So when I joined. There was me and 3 other guys were the very first boots in the whole company, which normally it's like you getting like 20 at a time, so a little less pressure on you, but we had a lot of pressure on us from all the senior Marines, like just trying to channel all their energy into refining just us 4.
Oh my God,
yeah, it was a lot. But made it through. It was like 2-3 months too before we got anyone else, but did really good. I actually got promoted to team leader.
Oh, nice.
Very early on.
Yeah.
Right when I was, it was kind of like when I was right before my first deployment. So I was the only team leader that was a boot. Even when we eventually had like 130, 150 new boots. So I was the only team leader going into the first deployment. Part of that was that I joined so much earlier than everyone, but I did work my ass off to achieve that. First deployment was to Romania and Bulgaria. So we went to Romania for like 4 months, Bulgaria for a month, and then came back and then did like another month or two in Romania. We were there just as like a standby force for Africa, and also because we were basically solidifying relationships with other NATO countries. So we were doing training with them, and we actually like trained them a lot because the Marine Corps is, the Marine Corps in general, but the U.S. military is like the best of the best out of any country, right? So we had a lot of training. Maybe I'm biased saying that, but we had a lot of training that we were able to teach the Romanians. And it was a little like weird because as a team leader, I did some of the training, but the way the military works in those countries, like when you join for life. So a lot of these guys.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, a lot of them. So a lot of these guys were 30 to 50 years old. And like I was instructing them how to do things because we just had training that they never had. So it was definitely a good learning experience. You know, before the Marine Corps, I remember telling my father, I want a job that I'd sit by a desk. I don't have to be in charge of anyone. I don't have to talk to anyone. I just want to keep my head down, my hood up, and just like do whatever I have to do. And then the Marine Corps just made me totally opposite of that. So,
No way.
Yeah, so that was my first time instructing anyone, and I loved it.
It's crazy how an experience like that changes where you're headed in life, but also what you think you wanted.
Yeah.
Because it opens up new like opportunities and you didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it pushes you outside your comfort zone, makes
Yeah.
you do something, and then you might realize like, well, I'm good at this, or I enjoy this. Yeah, I feel like that's a life lesson more people should take in life, you know?
100%.
Yeah, so we were there. That was a good experience. We came back from that. Nothing crazy happened while we were there.
Well, in Romania, Bulgaria.
Yep. Just did a lot of training. And then...
So, by the way, you were there. What was the role of your team being there? What were you doing there?
So we just did a lot of training with the other military. And we were still a standby force. So
The standby force for...
There's a lot of special forces down in Africa.
Yep.
Fighting the Boko Haram, trying to make peace people down there, and you know, sometimes things don't go the way they're supposed to, and there's altercations, and if they need backup, that's what we were there for.
Gotcha. Okay.
Luckily, nothing happened, so we came back.
Now, question: how far would it have been to Africa from where you were?
I think it was like 5-hour flight.
Wow.
4-hour flight, something like that.
Oh, not that quick.
No, not that quick, but we were like, if they needed us, we would be on the plane and going within the hour. So it was like we were always ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
So you come back to the U.S.
Yep.
Back to Camp Lejeune.
Yep. Got back to Camp Lejeune. We got our own boots at that time, so now I was in charge of training more people. So I won Marine of the Quarter for my whole company, which was awesome.
Yep.
And then I quickly got promoted to corporal. Again, first one in my peer group, I'm very like proud of that. And then after that, I shortly got promoted to squad leader.
Love that. Love that.
Yep.
Love that.
That was like, now I was I like being a team leader, but now as a squad leader, I was like, you know, be able to lead other Marines and train them, and I just really, really loved that.
Yep.
So I'm again a little biased. I think we had the best squad in the company.
Yeah.
Two of my junior Marines that I trained ended up being the first two in their peer group to become corporals and squad leaders. So it was
Love that.
Yeah. I'm probably more proud of that than I am of getting that myself.
Dude, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Where were they from? Do you know?
North Carolina and New York.
Oh, cool. Do you stay in touch with them?
Yeah, periodically. Yep, we're trying to plan a trip this year with everyone.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Like a meetup.
Yeah, like rent a cabin in the woods and go fishing.
Dude, love it.
Drink a little bit.
Yeah, that's so funny.
basically
Hang
all
out.
we do,
Yeah. So then you get deployed one more time.
Yep.
Where do you go?
This time was to Spain.
Where in Spain?
Seville.
Okay. Where is that? Southern Spain?
You got me.
Oh.
I just went where I was told. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then very similar stuff there. We got to do some really cool training there, though. We got to train with their special forces. One of the training was with their mountain special forces, so we got to go do like rappelling off of these like 100-foot drops off of cliff faces, and it was
Dude,
a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, right.
I got some cool
You're hooked
photos.
up to a buckle or something.
Yeah. I'll have to show you some photos from that. That was cool.
Dude, I'm just thinking in my head, like I would not want to train that.
Yeah. You kind of just do it.
Yeah, no, I know.
I
don't think you have an option when you're there. It's like, I'm going to pass on this one. That's so funny.
Yeah, that was really cool.
4 months too? Or a little less?
That was 6 months.
Oh.
Yeah. So the first one was actually 6 to 7 months as well. It was just broken up.
Between Romania and Bulgaria. Gotcha.
And then, came back out of there, and I was like, initially, like I said, I wanted to join for 6 years. And then when I was in, I just, I got some leadership I didn't really like, and they really made me just hate what I was doing, and kind of ruined it for me. And then I realized, like, I think I told you this before, but I joined wanting to do something better, something bigger than myself. And although in hindsight, I'm very blessed that I didn't go to any combat zones. They just weren't going on at the time. At the time, you're training. I think I said this to you before, but like, it's like training for 4 years to be a loan officer and never writing a single loan. Like it's a little frustrating. You never get to do what you're being trained to do and what you joined to do. So I was a little frustrated about that, but I've talked to a lot of veterans when I've gotten out that went to combat, and they all wish they never did. So I'm very blessed that I didn't go. Who knows if I'd even still be here today. So now I just really try to, be there for other veterans and other people in general.
I think
they're dealing with that stuff.
I think you would argue that you might not have saw combat, but joining the Marines isn't about, at the end of the day, seeing combat. It's more about the person you become and developing men that are prepared for society as a nation that will better the country.
Yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate that. I think that's definitely true. Because I tell my wife this all the time. Like, I don't know if you would fall in love with me if I didn't go to the Marines. Like the person I was before, I don't even know if I would have liked them, because it was just like, not to be like self-hating or anything. Like I was a young kid. Who knows what I would grow up to be. But thinking about the experiences I went through and how it molded me into the person I am today, and I like who I am today. So I'm very grateful for what I went through.
Dude, 100%. I think anyone, if you have growth, I look back to who I was 16 months ago, 2 years, and I'm like, what the heck? Mm-hmm. Not in a bad way. You feel maybe a little uncomfortable, or you're like, you're like, I wish I would have done things differently, but you wouldn't change them because they help mold who you are today. Mm-hmm. And I think looking back and being like, not embarrassed, but like, wow, I can't believe I was that way. But that's like a good thing because you're growing.
It's a great sign.
It's because you're growing. Yeah. So, 100%, I would say. And then the other thing, the love of doing something. What was the quote? Doc Esposito came on here for the podcast, and he said something along the lines of hard work in and of itself is the goal, is what you, so by just going and doing, 4 years in the Marines, even if you don't see any combat, just by showing up each day, that's the hard work. That's the reward in and of itself.
Yep.
Just showing up, putting the effort in. Even the results will take care of himself. But you're definitely, I bet anyone that's joined the Marines is probably better off post-joining versus pre. So, question, what did bad leadership look like?
Micromanaging, number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into details, but high level.
No, I'll get into the details. I have no problem about it. I'm very outspoken about it because it was,
and I'm asking that from me.
Yeah.
I personally would like to know, what would somebody say bad leadership looks like?
Sure. So a big thing is, leadership. An officer comes out of officer school, and they're automatically in charge, right? So and granted, officer school is very hard, and I knew some incredible officers, some of the best people I've ever met. One of my good friends actually went from being enlisted to be an officer. But the problem is even if you are in a higher position, don't assume that you know more, and don't assume that you're better at the job.
Yeah.
You may be a better leader. You maybe have better potential for being a leader, but a good leader knows the strengths and weaknesses of who's underneath them and lets them run with things. You just give directives. Officer that joined with us, he was just micromanaged everything, did too much, and made a lot of people, me especially, he had it out for me because if someone's doing something like that, I have no problem.
Voice your opinion.
Yeah, I'll voice my opinion. Didn't like that. So really just followed us everywhere, over-instructed on certain things. And a big thing for me was I was trying to train my junior Marines because I knew I was getting out at this point. And he like wouldn't let me do that. He wanted to do it. So it was like, so stuff like that. But I guess,
God, that's brutal.
I guess the big thing would be don't micromanage, know their strengths, and then look for the right people to have underneath you, because when some people could be can speak smoothly, they can tell you what you want to hear, but if they don't got a good heart and that you don't know, like if they don't really have the same vision, then you're going to have problems and you're going to need to step in, which is never going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's something I think you do great, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. What part was that?
You hiring me?
Oh, that was funny. That was funny. So you decide not to reenlist.
Yeah.
And then-
I realized I could do
Yeah.
better outside, I think.
Yep. So you end up at Sacred Heart. Use the GI Bill.
Yeah. I was like, well, I'm already like accepted there. Let me just
so they carry the acceptance so you don't have to reapply.
I had to reapply, but like they were like, well,
yeah.
truthfully, they wanted the money from the government, I think. But they also they were like, you got to skip some steps because you were already accepted.
Awesome.
Yeah. So GI Bill paid for everything, and Sacred Heart's actually great. Because it's a private school technically, GI Bill doesn't cover everything, but Sacred Heart covers the rest for you, which is awesome.
Unbelievable.
It's called the Yellow Ribbon Program. It's nice.
Wait, what?
It's called the Yellow Ribbon Program.
What is that?
So basically, if you have a remaining balance after the GI Bill, the school will take care of it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So just
I believe it's the Yellow Ribbon Program.
Just Sacred Heart offers that?
Quite a few schools do, but I was actually surprised Sacred Heart did, because the schools that usually do aren't usually as expensive as Sacred Heart, so they had to cover a bit.
Very cool. Shout out to the shoe.
Shout out to Shoe.
You meet Beth when?
So once I got out of the Marine Corps and started going to school.
Who's your wife at the time, for anybody who's wondering? Random person.
Wife is Bethany.
Yeah.
So she, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I reconnected with a friend, acquaintance, soccer friend from high school, Josh Matthews. What?
Does she go by Bethany?
She goes by both. I call her Beth.
Oh, Bethany's a town above Orange, right?
Yeah. We almost moved there.
I was going to say, I don't know why I thought that. That's so funny. Okay, so wait, you meet through Josh Matthews, who's a buddy of yours.
Yeah, so me and Josh got really close, hanging all the time, and he started bringing his cousin around, who's very attractive.
Yep.
But I made a point not to hit on her or anything. There was definitely like something there.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is my best friend, and he's multiple times telling me he hates when his friends hit on his cousin.
So funny.
So I never made a move until like 2 years later. He actually came up to me and said, like, Bethany's interested in you, and you're the only friend I would ever want to be with her. So I ended up going on a date with her, and we've been together ever since.
Unbelievable.
We joked that it was just a plot so we could become family, me and Josh.
Too funny. So you got to see him quite a bit then.
Yeah, I see him all the time. It's nice.
Does he live in Connecticut?
He lives in Connecticut. Yeah, he lives in Cheshire. And
way.
Crazy is his wife is Bethany's best friend that she used to work with down in New Jersey.
No way.
That's how he met her.
Oh my God, that is so
Yeah.
crazy. Oh, so you guys probably spend time together quite
All
a
the
bit.
time, all the
That
time.
is so funny. Okay, awesome. So at Sacred Heart, you major in finance?
Finance
Or economics?
Finance and economics.
Yep. Awesome.
And I was actually doing a minor in math. I was one course away from getting my minor in math. So after 3.5 years, I technically was able to graduate. So if I wanted to do the minor in math, I would have had to done one more a whole nother semester. And I did an internship.
Jeez.
Yeah, I did an internship at P72 that summer.
Stanford?
Stanford, yep. And it was a great opportunity. They actually offered me a job, and they said, if you want, you can start in January. So I decided to
Take
not-
that
not-
over the math minor.
Yeah. I don't miss it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't regret that. So after that, I started
How
working
long
at
was the
Point
internship?
72. I think it was 3 months.
Awesome.
2-3 months, yeah.
During the summer or during like
Yeah,
the January?
summer.
Oh, okay.
Summer.
And then you get offered full-time.
Yep, and started full-time in January.
Unbelievable. Okay, what was the role there?
I was an operations analyst.
How did you like the experience there?
I love the people I worked with. It was a great experience. The role itself, it was really mundane for me. Like, I love talking to people. I love sales. At the time, I didn't know I loved sales, but I loved now what I realize
Yep.
is like everything that goes into sales.
Love it.
So I was just getting bogged down with in front of an Excel sheet. I got really good at Excel, but I was just staring at this all the time. So I was talking to my wife about, I think I want to move on from this, do a different job. And a blessing in disguise came out of nowhere, and they said, "Hey, anyone, half of our operations team, we're moving to Poland, so we got to lay half of our operations team off." Right when that happened, they offered me another position with operations, but the package of being laid off is you work for 6 more months to train the oncoming employees in Poland, Warsaw, Poland, and you get like a year's severance. So I was like, I'm going to take that. I already was thinking about leaving. I'm going to take that.
So did you have to train the new people?
Yeah. So I got
Okay.
to train the new people. And then we ended up, so I left there. My wife ended up quitting her job. She's a nurse. She was a nurse out in Stanford. And then we actually sold our house, which was we bought it right before COVID, and then sold our house like a year and a half later.
Where was the house that you bought?
Norwalk.
Oh, no way. Where in Norwalk did you live?
Lacey Lane. I don't know I'm so bad with directions. I don't know the neighborhood area, but it's kind of near the Lowe's that's over there.
Awesome. Fantastic. So you sell that. Norwalk.
Made a good profit, got the year severance,
And what do you do?
and we rent an RV, load ourselves and our dogs up into there, and travel the country for like 2 months.
Where do you go?
Oh, too many places in that short amount of time. We wanted to see as much as possible, but the way the timing worked, we wanted to be back for Christmas, so we only had like 2 months, and it was snowing everywhere. So we left, and we were driving 8 to 12 hours a day up until we got to California. Took a week off to visit family.
Drive 10 hours and then like stay a night somewhere on the side of the road or something?
Yeah. Well, so we did this. It's called Harvest Host. It's $100 for the year. You get to park at any winery, brewery, or museum in the U.S. that is associated with. There's tens of thousands. So, it's nice. Like long days, park. You get a beer and some food, and then you sleep in their parking lot.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Harvest Host.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool.
So then we get to California. We visit. Actually, Bethany has family out there too. So we split our time visiting quite a few people out there.
Yep.
Reluctantly got back in the RV
And came home?
and did another 8 to 12 hours. We like zigzagged the way back home, visiting as much as possible. Like everyone always asks me, "What's your favorite place?" I have no idea. I remember what I saw. It was all beautiful, but I don't know what was where. Yeah.
we didn't learn anything. So you have no idea where you are.
No idea.
Directions.
No idea, but those views, man, beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I do always say one of my favorite places is called Devil's Tower. Don't know the state, but somewhere up north, and it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
But the West Coast?
No, it's more on the West Coast, but it's right on the northern part of the country. One of those states. It's unreal. It's like a sacred Native American area. So
no way.
Yeah, so you get to walk around the whole thing, and it's just this giant rock tower that you can't even see the top. It's unreal.
Dude, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the way, I'm going to pause because I want to talk about you coming back. But it's funny how I was just thinking you told your dad you wanted the office job. You go to the office job at P72 and then didn't like it and like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So you come back from California in 2022 now? We're talking, right? Around Christmas time?
Yeah. No, 2021 Christmas time.
Going into 2022.
Yeah.
And that's about the time when you started thinking about the mortgage business, right?
Yeah.
Because your dad has been in it for 25 years.
Yeah. So originally I was really against doing that because he tried telling me like, sure you want to go to college? Like you could just start here.
Yeah.
Which I wish I did. But
straight out of
the
yes,
Marines,
yeah.
But I didn't like it because I saw growing up, like it was a totally different industry. The technology wasn't there. You had to, I enjoy meeting everyone in person, but there was no other way to get business besides that.
By going to people's house, yeah.
And most people, like you couldn't do a Zoom call. So most people are on the weekends. So Dad worked his ass off to support us, which I'm super grateful for. But I also saw he was always exhausted because he's always the weekends, the nights. He's always waking up early to try to get some fitness in. It's just I saw that he was working so hard, and I saw you can work at that time. I was like, there's other jobs you can work just as hard and you probably get paid more. But now I realize I saw things switch. I want to be there with my family as much as possible. And I realized with the technology there, I saw how he was doing business now because he's still in the industry. And I saw there's the technology's there. The applications don't need to be filled out in person. They can fill it out online. He can pre-approve them online, send them pre-approval, do a Zoom call. He can have people on his team help manage his pipeline. So I saw wow, there's a way to do this to automate a lot of it. So what I can do as my job is be there for the customer, talk them through things, educate them, make them feel comfortable with the process. And I don't need to worry about as much of things like the mundane things where now I can spend that time with my family.
Love that.
So that was the big driving factor for me to get into it.
Now, at the time, you didn't have any. Was Leon born yet or no?
No, so
You guys were looking at homes. I know Beth
Yeah.
was pregnant.
So we moved.
Right?
Well, yeah, we rented out my mom's condo, which was very lucky for that was available at the time, and we thought we were gonna be in there for 2-3 months, and we put on 8 different offers on homes, up to 80,000 over asking. It was wild time.
Yeah.
Anyone that was trying to buy a house at that time knows how wild it was.
Yeah.
So we just couldn't get anything accepted, and in that time, Bethany got pregnant, and we're like, okay, now the clock's ticking, and we ended up getting into our new home in Orange a month before Leon was born.
No way.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
It was really down to the wire.
I love that. And how long? So you've been there now? How long? In Orange.
Is it almost 2 years? I would say so. Yeah, I think we just hit 2 years.
Unbelievable. And then, so Amelia was born a few months ago.
Yeah, so my daughter was born a year and 5 months after my son, so 202. It's been quite an experience.
Dude, that's so crazy. It's nonstop. Can't plan your days.
Yeah, now it's getting fun because their close and A's are starting to play together a little bit.
And Amelia's now how old?
She's 5 months old, but she'll
Sleeping better a little bit?
Oh yeah. She's a little bit better. Still not the greatest. Still pretty tired, but my son will just lay on the floor with her and they'll play together.
That is
they're
awesome.
Really good. Yeah.
And you have 2 dogs?
I have 2 dogs. I have a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
I got him right when I got out of the Marine Corps. He was awesome.
Oh, no way.
Readjusting is really hard when you get out of the military because it's just a different lifestyle. So that was such a great thing for me to get that dog. He was awesome. But he's getting a little old now. It's making me sad.
How old is he?
He's 8, but German Shepherds they don't live.
How long do they live?
Between 9 and 10, 9 and 11 years old. But he's in good shape. I shouldn't say he's doing great.
Yeah.
And then I got a golden retriever a year and a half after that.
Unbelievable. Okay. So speaking of, you kind of were touching on your business, coming into it, why you liked it. How do you approach your business? What are some of the things that you really, you like working with customers, clients, educating them? Relationship building is probably a big piece.
Yeah, very big piece. So been through the process myself, obviously.
Once in Norwalk.
Yeah, once in Norwalk, once in Orange, and you get that firsthand perspective of what do I wish I knew at that time when I was going through it? Where were the stress points? So I go into every transaction, every time I get a lead, I start off how I would want to be treated. But I do preface this up front when I meet with someone. I'm a little particular. I want to know everything. I want to know the nooks and crannies. I want to know how the mortgage industry works. How does mortgage companies make money? How does that affect me? Stuff like that. So up front when I meet with someone, I let them know are you like me? Do you want the in-depth explanation? We'll be sitting down for coffee for an hour and a half, but I'm totally down to do it. Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people want to do that. A lot of people like it. Sometimes people tell me just tell me if I'm pre-proofed. I trust you. Let me know if things work. So
love that.
Yeah. So I always try to do that. And then when I'm going through the process, I just try to stay in good communication because there's nothing more frustrating than, it's the biggest purchase in most people's lives. And it's very stressful. Everyone works really, really hard for their money. They want to know what's going on with it. So to stay up front and like, I know this is something we all do here, but just call them at least once a week and then text periodically throughout the week just to let them know, like, this is where we're at. If anything comes up, this is what I'm seeing. This is the workaround for it. So I just like being really upfront on things. I don't like being sneaky. I mean, unfortunately, as you know, as anyone in this industry knows, there's people in this industry that they will take advantage of some people for an extra buck, and we go against that sometimes. And I've lost deals to people that have rate shopped me or something, and I try explaining, like, this person's lying to you. I could do this. Like, if I wanted to, I could tell you the same thing they're telling you, but it's not true, and I'm not going to do that. And 99% of the time, they call me at the end of it asking for help because the person lied to them. And sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, but I don't ever want to be that person because I really believe, I'm doing this long term, and I
100%.
really believe your name is everything. And it's a small state, it's a small industry, everyone knows one another. At some point, someone's going to say, oh, Cody, he was awesome, he was so helpful up front, or he's going to say, oh, don't use this person, they lied to me, or they messed something up in my mortgage. So I've gone into everything with that mindset. And then with my referral partners, I kind of approach it the same way. But I also I really like working with people that I get along with personally. Like, I really focus my energy on trying to get business from people that I'm actually friends with because I like that. I like being able to be friendly and like call up, say, hey, here's the update on this loan. By the way, what's going on with your life? Like, did you go golfing last week? How'd you shoot? Like, stuff like that, and we'll talk on the phone for 30 more minutes about stuff like that. I love that.
Dude, that is awesome. What are your hobbies? What do you like doing?
Oh, too much. My wife hates it. It's every year you get something new. Still love playing soccer, working out. Love golf, love snowboarding. Really into camping. I got a camping trip lined up next month.
Where are we going?
I don't know yet. We're finding a spot. We want it to be snowing, so we're going to I have a hot tent. It's like a teepee with a wood burning stove in it.
Dude,
it's
what?
Cool, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's really cool. I just get into too much stuff.
I know you've been golfing a lot the last couple of years.
Way too much.
That is so funny.
You know why? I think I get into so many hobbies and then I fall off some of them sometimes because I like trying things that are pushing like my skill and like what I'm not good at because I like perfecting it. Probably one of the reasons I love sales because it's something that's you can constantly perfect and 100%. Improve on. But golf's been put me through the ringer. I mean, I've been playing for quite a few years now. It's the longest hobby I've had where I've been this consistent because I just cannot master it. It's so difficult. I'm getting pretty good, but it's really, really hard.
Have you taken any lessons yet?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that helps.
The problem with golf, not a problem, but I guess with it's like so many things in life. But one, I don't enjoy it that much, but it's fun to hang out with the guys.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Is you've got to practice so much on your own by yourself before playing with the guys. Now, if you play 4 times a week, you could probably get pretty good by just playing that much.
Yeah.
But if you want to get really good, you've got to go practice by yourself, show up by yourself. And for me, I've always looked at it as like, I don't mind practicing by myself, but I really just don't love the game.
Yeah, then that's different, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'd rather do other things.
Yeah. See, you probably see me swinging that golf club in the office every time you walk by. I'm practicing.
So yeah, literally, that's so funny. That's too funny. And you always said you like meeting clients in person. The relationship aspect is key. And I think with any hobby too, or client, that's what is the most important thing is bringing people together, spending time in person, whether it's with clients, whether it's with friends. And that kind of makes the experience for a loan. It makes the hobby what it is. If you're going camp, I don't know, maybe if you went camping by yourself, you'd love it. But if you go with 3 other guys, it's probably a lot more fun.
I'd be freaking out at night if I went by myself. I love camping, but I can't do that. There's some weird noises out there sometimes.
I can only imagine. I'm not a camp guy.
Yeah.
If anybody was wondering.
Yeah. But no, I really do love meeting people in person. I find I don't know what it is. Like, of course, you're going to build better trust when you meet people in person. But I almost feel like if someone's just off the phone and they don't want to meet in person, but they're a smooth talker on the phone, it almost like makes me distrust them a little, because I'm like, why don't you want me to meet you in person? Because I'll probably notice some things about you, or at least Zoom call, right? I'll probably see some facial features or some way you're acting that'll make me like be like, oh, they're lying to me, right? You can't tell that as much over the phone.
It's why we do Zoom calls and in person.
Every time,
And
yep.
I do no phone calls for consultations.
Yep, absolutely.
And if I'm on the phone with somebody, I send them a video text message after, putting a face to the voice.
Yep.
To help them kind of see 2 and 2.
I love those.
So, oh yeah,
You send me them every week.
So funny.
What's going on?
Yeah. Code, this was a blast, dude.
I had a great time.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on, man. I hope people got a chance to learn a little bit about you.
Yeah.
On the personal side, Shane, thank you for helping out.
Yeah.
No worries.
If anyone wants to go golfing, just let me know.
There you go. There's an open invitation. If anyone has questions, where can they connect with you?
On Instagram, LinkedIn, those are my big ones. Or you can reach out to me via email, phone number. I'm sure we'll link everything down there.
Perfect.
Below. Yep.
Thank you, guys.